The wind carried the scent of rain long before the storm reached Willow Creek. It swept across the tall grass and rattled loose boards on the little white church where Anna Whitfield extinguished the last lantern. The sky had turned heavy and purple, like bruised velvet stretched across the plains. She clutched her father's Bible against her chest and stepped into the rising wind. She should have been afraid. Most girls her age feared storms. But Anna feared only one thing: the world outside the boundaries her father drew for her. She had lived her whole life inside the lines, quiet, obedient, gentle. That evening, for the first time, she wished for something wild to happen. She got her wish. Hoofbeats echoed across the muddy road, slow at first, then louder, steadier. Anna froze on the church steps. A chestnut stallion appeared in the glowing wash of a lightning strike, ridden by a man shaped by wind and dust. His long coat snapped behind him. His shoulders were broad, the kind that carried weight no one could see. The brim of his hat shadowed half his face. He looked carved from thunder. The horse halted in front of her, snorting, hooves splashing mud. The cowboy lifted his chin. "Ma'am," he said, voice deep as rolling thunder. "Storm's comin' in fast. You shouldn't be out here alone." The wind whipped her hair across her cheeks. Anna swallowed. "I was closing the church." His gaze dipped to the Bible she held. Not judging, only noticing. "Your father the preacher?" "Yes." A faint, crooked smile touched his mouth. "Explains the halo." She blushed violently. No one ever spoke to her like that. Words in Willow Creek were stiff as starched collars. His were warm, teasing, dangerous. Lightning cracked open the sky. She startled, stepping closer to him without meaning to. He leaned slightly toward her, steadying, as if his mere presence formed shelter. "You live far?" he asked. "Just across the creek. I'll ride you there." Before she could respond, the church door swung open. Reverend Whitfield stood framed in the doorway like a judgment carved in stone. "Anna," he said sharply. "Inside." The command cut through the wind. Anna stepped back. The cowboy's jaw tensed. He drew a breath, reins in hand. "Didn't mean any trouble, sir. Just offering help." "You are trouble," the preacher snapped. "Riders like you pass through, stir dust, and leave broken things behind. Move on." The cowboy didn't flare in anger. Instead, his eyes burned with something cooler and deeper. Hurt shaped into hardness long ago. He tipped his hat. "As you say, Reverend." But then his gaze shifted to Anna, softening in an instant. "Name's Colt Maddox," he said quietly, "just for her. If you're ever in trouble, just call for me." Another lightning bolt lit the sky, and he turned his stallion, riding into the darkening rain. Anna's heart pounded long after he disappeared. She didn't know his story. She didn't know his past. But she knew one thing with startling certainty. Her life had just changed. Days passed, but Colt Maddox lingered in Anna's mind like a half-remembered song. Willow Creek moved in its usual slow rhythm. Church bells, sweeping floors, cooking meals, tending to neighbors. But inside, Anna felt a storm that never passed. Every sunset, she walked the small path behind the church, telling herself she wasn't looking for him. And every sunset, she disappointed herself by hoping anyway. On the fourth night, she found him. Colt leaned against the old oak tree behind the church, thumbs hooked in his belt, moonlight etching silver along the sharp edges of his frame. His hat hung from his fingers. His hair, dark, slightly curled, caught the night breeze. "I was wondering when you'd come." His voice was soft, not the thunder from the storm, but something warm and dangerous. Anna's breath caught. "You shouldn't be here." "I know," he said, "but I couldn't seem to ride away." She approached slowly, skirts brushing grass. "My father won't approve." "I don't want his approval." He took a step closer. "But I want yours." Her pulse jumped. She didn't know where to look. His eyes felt like open doors, but the way he stood felt like a quiet challenge. How are you still here?" she whispered. He shrugged lightly. "Reverend scared my horse more than he scared me." She laughed. Soft, shocked at herself. No one made her laugh like that. Colt noticed, smiling like a man seeing sunlight after a long winter. "You laugh like it surprises you," he said. "No one talks to me the way you do." "And how is that? Like I'm someone, not just the preacher's daughter." His expression softened. "That's because you are someone." Their hands brushed, barely, like testing fate. The world seemed to hold its breath. He stepped even closer, slow enough to give her time to stop him. She didn't. "Tell me to walk away," he murmured. "One word and I'll go." She looked up at him. The moon glowed behind him, turning him almost unreal, like a story told in secret. "I'm not saying it," she whispered. His breath hitched. For a long moment, he simply looked at her. Like memorizing her face would keep him steady in a world that wasn't. "Anna." His voice cracked with emotion he'd buried for years. "I've been running from things my whole life. Fighting shadows. But when I look at you, I don't feel lost anymore." Her heart fluttered helplessly. "Colt." He cupped her cheek. Gentle, reverent, asking permission with every motion. His thumb brushed lightly across her skin, and she leaned into his touch, unable not to. "People will talk," she said. "Let them," he answered. "I'll face them. I'll face your father. Hell, I'll face the whole world if it means being near you." A silence fell, thick with tension, hope, fear, longing. She placed her hand over his. "Then don't walk away," she breathed. "Not tonight." He pulled her into a soft embrace, not claiming her, not taking, but holding her like something precious, like something worth changing for. And under that oak tree, their forbidden love took root. Rumors spread like wildfire in Willow Creek. A stranger lingering by the church. The preacher's daughter slipping out at dusk. A cowboy with eyes too sharp and a past too heavy. It didn't take long before Reverend Whitfield confronted her. "Are you meeting him?" he demanded, eyes burning not with anger but fear. Anna lifted her chin with a courage she didn't know she had. "Yes." "Anna," he whispered, voice trembling. "Men like him do not love. They wander. They hurt. They carry danger like dust on their boots." She closed her eyes. "He's not what you think. He's exactly what I think." But he was wrong. Colt Maddox wasn't danger. He was the first breath of freedom she'd ever tasted. That night, Anna did what she'd never done before. She disobeyed. She climbed out her window, heart pounding, and ran barefoot across the moonlit field. The oak tree stood tall against the horizon, and beneath it, like he belonged to the night, waited Colt. When he saw her, relief broke across his face like sunrise. "You came," he whispered. "I had to." Her voice cracked from running and crying and breaking rules that held her captive for too long. Colt reached her in 2 strides, his hands gently circling her arms. "Anna, what happened? My father wants me to stay away from you." Colt swallowed hard and looked away. "I figured. But I won't," she said fiercely. "I can't." He stilled every muscle, every breath. "You don't know what you're choosing," he said quietly. "My life, my past, none of it is clean." She took his hand. "I'm not asking for clean. I'm asking for you." Emotion crashed over his expression. Raw, breaking, beautiful. He touched her cheek, brushing her tears away with his thumb. "I don't deserve you," he whispered. "Maybe not," she said softly. "But I choose you." Colt pulled her into him, holding her like she was the first good thing he'd ever been given. His heartbeat thundered against her ear. She melted into his embrace, feeling safer than she ever had. After a moment, he spoke. "I want a life with you, Anna. A home, peace, a future. I've never wanted anything that much." He paused, voice trembling. "But wanting doesn't make it easy." "We'll make it easy," she whispered. "Together." He rested his forehead against hers. "You're my heart now, and I'll spend the rest of my life trying to be worthy of you." The wind whispered through the prairie grass. The stars glimmered above them like silent witnesses. There, under the endless western sky, they made a promise, quiet but stronger than fate itself. A promise that love, true, stubborn, wild, could defy the world, could defy judgment, could defy the past, could defy even the preacher's wrath. And as Colt took her hand, leading her into their uncertain future, Anna realized something. Love wasn't meant to be easy. It was meant to be worth it. And their love was worth everything.